Hello everyone and welcome back to Civilization 6, here with Gaul and Ambiorix. Now we're in an interesting position. I feel like we've caught up a little bit, certainly in terms of culture we're doing pretty well, we're actually leading amongst all the civilizations that we've met so far. It doesn't mean there are other civilizations that aren't further ahead, but that only is dependent on us having Namadao, otherwise Pericles is going to take that off us. So we've got to try hold on to our suzerainty of Namadao. We need to try to retake Auckland. We still, and we also no longer have Mogadishu as well, because Pericles is being a git and he's taking over all our city-states, and we certainly don't want that to happen. So we need to work on some envoys, some other things as well. But we also need to improve our cities, because while we're doing okay, could be doing a lot better. We want to turn away from castles, from guilds, and we're starting to get somewhere, but I'm still not sure we're going to win, so we need to be pretty tough with what we're doing, to be honest. We are also trying to build a Forbidden City here, but with only 17 turns to go, I'm not sure it's going to be possible, but it would be wonderful if we could. And I've just seen that John Curtin's built an art museum in Canberra, which means his culture is going to absolutely skyrocket, which is not great.
Walk there to meet the extraordinary dreams. Every man should make
So we need to try and deal with that.
Useful trade or profession, so that in these days of changing fortunes, they may have something tangible to fall back upon.
Now we can't. There's not really a need for us to build Chichen-Itza. I don't think we have many rainforests around, but we will check that momentarily. I am, however, keen by getting craftsmen to have the additional adjacency zone bonuses. I think that'll be very useful indeed. And we'll get that set up. Now, what do we need to go for after this? I'm sure we had a thing that we were doing. We're kind of at the same tech level as John Curtin and Caesar. Could go for stirrups. Again, we don't have many lakes, so I'm not sure. Oh, we do have some lakes, but I think someone might have already built the Huithril. Is that how you say it? I can't quite remember. But I'm not sure that's the one we want to really be going for. We want to keep working towards production, maybe towards industrialisation if possible. But we haven't really done much of the shipbuilding stuff, so let's try get that underway. It's going to be a long way to go. As of course would be corporations, but I think it's still worth doing. And in terms of our civics, let's keep pushing forward in the Renaissance era. We'll go for humanism to try and cut off John Curtin's power with his culture. His culture is going to be our way forward, I would say. Now we can promote someone. And we'll have to see, is there anyone worth grabbing? Could get some extra gold via Rayna. It's not a terrible idea. Or we could work on getting Amani up so we can try ensure that we have some more envoys in the city-state, but that's a lot of promotions to get down to puppeteer. So I'm going to promote Rayna, get tax collector. That's going to increase our gold by a reasonable amount. I'm not sure that's going to actually turn up till next term, but I think it's worth doing. I would really love to try and get the Forbidden Cities. I'm actually going to send this builder back and cut down those trees. We've got some forests around here. We can always regrow them at a later stage, but the Forbidden City would be one which is very much worth grabbing. I'd love to find Valletta as well, if Valletta is indeed in our game, which I'm not sure about. World rankings, we're still not doing very well in culture, but that's mostly due to our tourism output. Our actual culture output is pretty okay at the moment. And the culture game hasn't really kicked off as of yet. Science, we're not going to win. We're so far behind in terms of the science run. Well, not as bad as I perhaps thought, but I think it's going to be a diplomatic or a culture victory in the long run. We want to try push to something like flight. That'd be very useful as well. 2 more turns to produce the foreign ministry in Adawatuka. That's also going to be very useful to allow us to levy city-states for the half price. That'll be very useful indeed. We also get some more production culture down here. And I don't think we'll be working that tile. No, we're not, but it's still useful. Let's just unlock these, see where people decide to go instead. I'm going to lock these back on because I want the additional food growth. Production can come afterwards, but I'd like to be able to get another... I'd like to be able to get down another... what's it called? Another district in Adortuca, but we can't do that until we have another 2 populations, so we want to try focus on that. I think we will try get a 3rd city up here, just so we can make best use of the Pantanal with its kind of preserves. So when we have a free city, which is not going to be for a while, maybe Tavanna. Tavanna's got 15 people. How much would it take for them to get air settling down? 15 turns. We'll have to see. For now though, let's end the turn and see what happens next. Australia's cleared land in Canberra for the Palata Palace. That's interesting. I'm trying to remember where the Palata Palace is in the grand scheme of things. Let us remove the yields here, because it's another 3 turns on that. You're going to come up here and build a mine on that spot there, just to make it slightly less dreadful. I'm going to try renew my friendship with Caesar, as I just don't want to have any issues with him, as he would undoubtedly beat us in any military engagements with 526 military, I should say. That's definitely not something we want to deal with. Builders are 340. We're not having much use for our faith at the moment, which is unfortunate. 8 turns in Noviodunum, but of course we're focused on other things there at the moment. How close are we to a new couple of envoys? Not yet. Are there any tasks we can do for something like Mogadishu? Recruit a great general is not going to happen. What about Auckland? Train a skirmisher. We could probably do that pretty quickly, actually. How much would it take to do a skirmisher in Tavanna? 11 turns. Maybe not there then. Tavanna's not big on its production as of yet. 240 for a monument, but I think we'd be better off building a builder when we have the money to do so next turn, so that's what we'll do. I really hope we get the Forbidden City. We've put a lot of time into it. Interesting, I wonder if the Pantanal counts as rainforest. Purely because I'm intrigued to see whether that would work with the wonder that gives bonus culture. It's technically grassland, so I don't think it does, unfortunately. Okay, let's get this... Oh, what's happened here? Okay, the rice has gone down. That's fine. We can repair that. We can repair this turn, actually. It's a drought. That's the problem. Okay, well, we're going to go down and keep pushing for the Forbidden City to be completed. But we're going to get another builder down in Noviodunum, because that's a pretty important place. And soon, Summerbury will hit 10 population. I think that'll be our first city up to 10 population, actually. So that'll be some additional era score, which should be wonderful. Right, Tavanna, what can we do for you? You're struggling for production, but also struggling for food. Builder out there in 7. A library, a workshop. Let's go for a library. Keep trying to boost our science up as best we can. Over here in our capital, Adortuca. What's left to build in terms of wonders? I'm just curious. The Angkor Wat, and that we can build that. The University of Sankor. And Petra, all of which we cannot build here. So 7 turns for a science building. University wouldn't be bad. We don't need another aqueduct. Skirmisher in 4 turns will get us out an envoy for, I think it was Auckland. But let's go for university. Let's keep working on our science. I'm going to promote Omani. It's taking a little while to get ourselves up, but I'm going to... other cities in 9 towers are not owned by you. Lose 2 loyalty per turn. And what I need to work out, she is in Namadao. Does Namadao have any luxuries that they can give us? There's an amber there. That's not bad. Or we could possibly use that to lower... If I understand it correctly, we could use that to lower the loyalty of the Greek cities. So let's try emissary. Let's try that, see if that works. It's almost certainly not going to. And Indonesia and Greece are no longer at war. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. We really need to up our builders because there's a lot of spare space in Ratumakos, Tovana, Noviodunum. The only place which is really set up is Aduatuca. So, anyone want to buy some luxuries or anything else off me? You already have whales, so you're not going to buy more whales. You also have whales, annoyingly. John Curtin, do you have whales? Well, I really want to give you more luxuries, but what would you give me in return? 11 gold? I can do that, that's fine. And what about you guys? You don't have much iron. If I was to sell you 42 iron, 43 iron, yeah, what would you give me in return? 9 gold for 30 turns? Done. And what about horses? Would you like some horses? You can have some horses. Me and you are friends. What would you give me for 30 horses? 6 gold per turn. Wonderful. That's going to just up our gold count somewhat. Let's just double check with our builders. Okay. And the turn. Another 9 turns to the Forbidden City. We do have a couple of forests around. I'm slightly concerned about Australia and how they're doing. But we get a city reaching population for the first time our city's reached 10 population in our civilization with Samurai Breather.
There is nothing but a
but I'm concerned about Australia and its exponential growth at the moment. It's proving troublesome. Let's get this builder down here and this builder over here. I want to get the Forbidden City down, even if it does cost me quite a bit. Could potentially have got Magnus down here in Noviodunum. That might have helped, because then his chops are better. The chopping is better. But, you know, benefit of hindsight, what can we do? Right, you're building a theatre square, you're building... So, okay, we're mostly focusing on like district buildings at the moment. One more population in Aduatuca momentarily, which will be wonderful. So again, end the turn, because there's not much we can do at the moment. Rome has earned Jeanne d'Arc, and John Curtin's built the Angkor Wat. Interesting. Speaking of great people, how are we doing on those? Next great general is Napoleon Bonaparte, but we are not going to be getting that. Great Admiral we are not going to get. The only one we're really good at getting is the Great Engineer. And actually, Mimarsh Sinan here is not going to be that useful because all our industrial zones have already culture. We tend to culture bomb a lot anyway, so it's not going to be that useful. But we probably want to start working on our cultural side of things now because there's still a lot of scope. I mean, and sure, some people are not that far off, but certainly with great musicians, that's something we can catch up on fairly soon. Now, Tavanna needs more housing. We'll get that when we can. I want you guys to go to this place here, and you guys to go here, because we're gonna really push. We're gonna really push for the Forbidden City. It's an extra building slot for us, which is of course excellent, but it's also 5 extra culture as well. And then we're going to focus on some more builders, I would say, because there's a lot of land over here ready to develop, which we haven't had the opportunity to do so as of yet. Hopefully we can in future. We just need a little bit more. We're just still falling a little bit further behind than I would like. Australia just stumbled across the Pantanal, so they've just found the Pantanal off me, I would imagine. Greece has expanded again with Megara.
Will I make?
Where have they settled? Okay, they settled past Auckland. That's interesting to say the least. Right, let's see if we can get down Noviodunum with its Forbidden City. It does mean I'm chopping down a lot of woods, but we can regrow them at a later stage. But that should confirm the Forbidden City for us unless someone beats us by 1 turn, but I really would hope that would not be the case. In Tavanna, can we get you a builder? Not this turn, but we can next turn. That's okay. By the way, this whale industry is to do with production. We could even just keep producing military units, because that would keep pumping out culture for us as well, because we get 20% of all culture, or 20% of production costs, so that might be useful. Rome has also settled a new city, thankfully not over by us, but we need to keep where we are on the horizon for that they might get settled up the top. That's not something we want to happen. Next is cartography.
The whole palace complex is built along a central axis, the axis of the world. Everything in the 4 directions suspend from this central point, represented by these palaces.
And there's the Forbidden City, excellent. Now we did have to chop down a lot of things to get that, so we're going to have to kind of rebuild considerably. Let's get a farm down here, and then we're going to have to just kind of rebuild everything and get some more production down in Novia Dunum, including down here we can get some luxury. We can get this mercury down. Are there any other luxuries any wonders we can build in Novia Dunum? Not at the moment. We could build some medieval walls. It's not a terrible idea, given that Rome is not that far away. At the moment it's not an issue, but of course could be in the future. Let's go for the university. Let's keep trying to boost our science somewhat. Now, what do we want to do with this extra spot that we've got? That's pretty useful. We go for housing and amenities. It's not a terrible idea. Housing and amenities is always useful. Could also go for something like great scientists, great merchant, great writers, etc. Let's have a look at some of these other people. How are we doing for great merchant points? We are very far behind someone else who's going to be getting them very quickly indeed. If we were to boost up our great writer points, that would put us into a slightly better spot. Up to 6, but still wouldn't be that good in terms of great writers. Great scientists, we're just unfortunately a bit too far behind everyone else in that regard. Great artists, maybe, but for that we need some. Once we get humanism, actually, we could really push the invention. Oh, that would get us great engineers really quickly. Or great artists. How are we doing for great artists, by the way? I'll just check that one actually. We could increase that a little bit. That might work in our favour. But we've got to fill something in this turn. So for now, let's put in Republican Legacy. Just have the extra amenities. People will be happy by that. That should help in the long run. Actually, that should help with our culture per turn as well. Of course, as does the Forbidden City. And we get 4 era score for the Forbidden City, so we should avoid a Dark Age, but obviously the Golden Age would be wonderful if we could get one. Let's also get a builder down here in Tavanna. There's plenty of stuff that could be going on here, which is not happening at the moment. We need to kind of get this all sorted for sure. Anyone want to buy any more luxuries off me if I have any? Okay, I don't have any spare luxuries at the moment. What would you give me for open borders? You give me 1 gold, that's not really worth it. I can sell diplomatic favour, but it's probably worthwhile to hold on to that for the time being. Or you've already got Niter, that's a mild problem. 10 turns for cartography. Ooh. Not convinced by that, especially with Square working behind. We do just need to boost up our science now. It's becoming a little bit problematic. Let's go for banking, or steer us into banking. Because it also gives us more food and pastures. And hopefully by that point our science would have got a bit better to deal with the cartography issue. Because right now that's a little bit too long, I feel, to wait at the moment, to be honest. That's just not feasible, I would say. So we're just going to have to kind of work on some other way of pushing forward with this. We're actually doing remarkably well in terms of faith. But we don't really, we haven't got any holy sites down, and we don't have a religion.
If a
so
few drops of the ocean are dirty,
there's not much we can do
the
there.
ocean does not become dirty.
Right, I'm going to change my policies around. I'm going to take out the one production in all cities. While useful, I want to put in frescoes. We could put in invention in, and we'd absolutely smash all the great engineer points. Could do that actually, because that would help us get a bunch more wonders incredibly quickly. Because we have so many workshops down, we could just pretty much capitalise on all the great engineers much faster than anyone else would ever do. Even Rome would not really catch up in time. We'll send this builder up to repair you. You're going to come down here and build me some Mercury. Or build on the Mercury, I should say alternatively. You just slowed down. Why did you just slow down? I think you went off some food. Yeah, go back onto the food, please. While the extra production would be nice, we want to keep growing. And we can also get an industry opportunity now that we have Mercury down there. So we may do that next turn. Mercantilism might be good. Diplomatic service would also be decent. And that would push us towards the Enlightenment. We'll push towards this because that gives our camps sure production food. And also that gives us the opportunity to get some more... yeah, do we want that? Or do we want diplomatic service? The Enlightenment would be nice. But I'm not sure it's needed. Actually, it's good to keep hold of our faith because we'll need it for rock bands later down because for some reason people use rock bands and rock bands use faith for reasons best known to themselves. I think we already have those whales locked down, so let's go build on this pasture over here. And you need to build up this mine here. Not perfect, but it's better than nothing. And pretty much all of Adwatuka is now settled up. So it's in the turn. I'm not convinced we're going to win this game, but we are starting to catch up with at least Indonesia here. But I'm concerned about Australia, who have always been really rather terrible people to be near. There's also Mansa Musa, Scythia. I know there's Mansa Musa in this game, there's Scythia in this game, and there's Wilhelmina in this game, so all of those I've got to watch out for. Right, so Mercury is only in this city, isn't it? There's another Mercury down there. Not that I'm sure we can reach that, so we're going to have to build it here. Additional science yield in host city, it's okay, it's not... Novia Dunham's not a great science industry building, but I'll take it. And we have our singular trade route back. Now what's the best thing we can do here? Look, we can give it to Leventa, that would give us another... That would give us a... envoy there, but that's hardly ideal. We're not really trying to get Leventa's support. Honestly, we might be better off going back to Namadao. It's a good amount of gold, some additional culture. Yeah, let's get it done. We can probably do with increasing the amount of trade routes we have, to be perfectly honest. Let's build pasture here, and then we'll go down to these kind of rocks and build, I say rocks, quarries, build stuff there. In Semirabriva, what do we want to build? Probably a theatre square. Now, where's the best place to put it there? There's +1, it's hardly ideal. We could get a watermill down, we could get a granary down. We're doing okay for housing for the moment. Commercial hub, there might be a better spot for that, although we're not really going for great merchants. We're a bit too far behind, but we could easily catch up. We could easily catch up with great merchants. That's not a terrible idea. Great merchants are good, but they're not everything. I'd probably prefer the theatre square. It is going to destroy that mine, but let's do that. 9 turns. This builder here can go up here and repair this. Bring some more food back. And he can go over to this stone quarry up here and build, and you can come up to this mine and build. We're going to have to give Novia Dunham a bit of a boost for sure. Okay, it's in the turn. Let's see what happens. See how we're doing. Definitely John Curtin is our biggest opposition here. It might get to the point where we need to, you know, launch a few nukes later down the line, but given how slow we are on science, it's going to take us a lot of time to catch up with that. Major flood over up the top. Probably that's mostly damaged. I think that's mostly damaged Rome, not us, which is good. Pastures receive plus on food. That's going to give us a nice amount of growth across the empires. We do have a few pastures around everywhere. You're going to come over here and build me some mines in Adoratuca. Do you want to go for archaeology or for art? Archaeology is nice, but doesn't. Great. So that will give us one great writer point and 2 great artist points per turn. So it's the same, but I feel like art would be better than archaeology. So let's go for art museums. Over here in Rotimakos, let's get the Oppidum down. It's only going to take 10 turns, and it's just useful in general. We'll put one down there. But I would like to get another settler down if I could. How many turns would it be to come out of Adoratuca, I wonder? 5 turns. Get that down so we can get another settler down over here. And in terms of Savannah, University in 19. None of these are particularly good for us, to be honest. Could maybe think about getting some more military down. Asian wars wouldn't be a terrible thing, but let's keep working on the workshop. How are we doing? We're doing very well in terms of great engineer points. We should be able to capitalise pretty much the entire rest of those great engineers, which would be wonderful. And only another 7 points to avoid a Dark Age. And at least another 28 turns to go. I think that shouldn't be a problem. At least at the moment. Let's get these builders moving to where they need to. So we can keep on building some improvements, because we just need to improve our empire now, I would say. Australia has earned Great Admiral Santa Cruz. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's what we're going to have to deal with. Okay, we've got some envoys, 2 envoys. We could take Mogadishu, or we could take Pericles back. I'm going to take Auckland back off Pericles, because that will give us some additional production up here in Adoratuca. And it's just closer to home, so I want to take that off Pericles for sure, and then we will try and get Mogadishu back as well. That's also going to give us some era score and some additional production back here, which of course will be very useful indeed. Not much production, but it's production nonetheless, and it will have an effect for sure. It's funny, this is kind of goes against what a lot of my strategy in Civ is to build a lot of commercial hubs and districts to do with commercialism, so commercial districts and harbours to get a lot of trade routes out, but I haven't done so this game because I haven't felt the opportunity to really do so, and that's troublesome because I like having a lot more money. I've got a decent amount of money, could always do with some more though. Right, who arguably needs another builder now? Samurai Breather could probably do with another one. So let's get one down there. Samurai Breather is actually our biggest kind of our biggest city at the moment, although Adveratuka's not that far behind. But it hasn't got a huge amount of food production. That's the only thing that we have to kind of deal with. But we've got Auckland back, which is good. And they've got a decent amount of military we could take if needed, if we need to go to war with Greece again. So we don't really need banking for much. Do we need to really go for banking? I mean, it pushes us into economics, which would get cooperation, which of course would be useful. We're not going to build 2 harbours, that's the problem. That's all very slow to push for. What can we push for instead? Fort, Renaissance walls, rifling. There's a lot to research, and we are definitely behind when it comes to these things. Build an armory, that would help with our gunpowder, but that actually helps with our... Let's go for gunpowders first, because that helps with our quarries, and we do have some of them, but that would help with our production, and we are all about production and industry. So I think that'll be the best thing we can do there. Looks like we're going to become Eastern Orthodoxy as our main religion, but that's okay. You can build a mine here. Small production culture. You can build a quarry here, which is arguably a lot less useful than a mine. This builder here can also build a quarry. But again, it just helps with our production. We have so much stone around here. Around Samurai Breathe, it's very much worth doing. At least to some extent. We might be better off building farms up here. And then, although we will lose the gold. We'll lose the gold from doing that. There's so much stone resource around, that's the thing that we've got to contend with as well. Okay, in the turn. Caesar and John Curtin not particularly happy with each other, that's okay. And Indonesia has denounced Greece, which is good, because we want them to be annoyed at each other, for sure. And what do we want to do with this builder? Could do like a farm triangle here, but the farms here aren't particularly great. There's no way we can get to that Mercury. We'll get a quarry here. Or a mine there, I should say. You can build a farm there. You will lose the gold. But we can make a nice farm area up the top there. And that would probably be pretty good for our growth in Samurai Breather. You guys here. Let's send you over to build a farm over here by Tavanna, and we can kind of do a triangle of farms there, or at least a 3 long thing of farms, as we have now got feudalism, I believe. Yes, we do. So we want to make best use of that if possible. How are we doing now for great people? 4 turns for Mimar Sinan. Okay. He's okay, the great engineer. He's not what I would recruit. We could in fact recruit him now with the amount of faith we have. But I think it's best to hold on to that. This is only going to take 4 turns for us to get this great engineer anyway, and we might find a better use for our faith in the later game when it comes to other such things. Someone's really increased the amount of great artist points as well. 9.2, interesting. And great musicians, we're kind of we're very far behind. Great writers, I'm not sure we're going to get. Well, I might see. Do I have any great work slots available? I do. Writing. I've got the Amphitheatre and the Apadana. So, Australia. Hello, my good man. I know you don't like me very much. But you must have some great works somewhere, which you don't need. Maybe not. Indonesia, do you have some great works I can have? Do none of you have great works? Or can I just not buy them off you at the moment? You have some great works. What do you want for them? 11 gold, that's a lot of gold to spend for one great work. What about some mercury? Here you go. There we go. I'll give you some mercury. I'll buy that off for you. And then drinking alone by the moonlight. What if I give you some iron? Well, this could be bad, giving my opponent such things. 17 gold, no thank you. What about some diplomatic favour? If I give you like 30 diplomatic favour, would that be enough for your great work? Yes, it would. What about the iron? I'll take off the iron. Ah, you can still accept that. Wonderful. Anyone else have any great works that they're willing to trade me? What about you? See, I've got some great works now, which is good. It's a little bit of culture, a little bit of tourism. I really want to take them off John Curtin, though, but I'm not actually sure he has any at the moment, which is interesting. But I feel like he has to have some. Although he hasn't gone for many theatre districts, I suppose that makes sense to some extent. Interesting. Is there anything else we can kind of trade here that'd be useful? Not at the moment. I'm guessing you're not gonna, you're not gonna give away a city. Okay, we'll hold on to the rest of our diplomatic favour for now, because the next World Congress is only 6 turns away. It's been the turn, let's end the turn. And see what we can do next. Rome's adopted liberalism, that's not too bad. And Indonesia has expanded somewhere. Interesting. Right, this builder here can build me a farm. And I also want to buy this slot here in Savannah. And we're going to, then our builder will go over there. And we can get these farms much better. This builder here can also do a similar effect. But what we're actually going to do is we're going to clear this quarry. First of all, that gets our culture down, but it also means we can build a farm triangle here, which is useful. But what do we want to build here? How are we doing for housing? We're doing okay for housing, and we're also going to be building more farms, so that's not a problem. Let's keep working on our culture now. Culture is going to be the thing we're going to win on, if anything. So I think that's what we're going to have to focus on. Ratumakos you could probably do with a builder yourself. You need a bit more money for that. Only 4 gold. I'm wondering if we can just sell some diplomatic favour so we can get that done this turn. Here, what do you give me for 3 diplomatic favour? 4 gold. Exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much, Indonesia. Yeah, let's do that there. So we'll get a builder down, and he can keep improving Ratumakos. Next time we'll have another builder down at Aduatuca, and we'll send that down to hopefully keep on making that Pantanal even better than it already is. The Romans built an art museum in Ravenna. So we're doing pretty well in terms of culture. It's only really John Curtin that we're struggling to keep up with at the moment. Of course, science we're way far behind, but that's just the nature of these things. Let's get another mine down there in Novidunum. It's just more culture, more production. All very useful indeed. Aduatuca's finished its settler. So let's go for an art museum here. I think we're going to focus on art over archaeology. I think that'll be the better way of doing things. You guys can come over here. I want this settler to come over this way, please. And we'll build it. We'll probably build it about here because it needs to be able to reach. It needs to be able to reach the Pantanal, or at least be able to boost the Pantanal. 1, 2, 3. So we can go. I can go in those woods there. That's fine. It'll take them a while to get there. this builder can build a farm here. We just keep on working on the farm production, keep on working on our growth. It's going to be important. We're doing well in terms of culture, but John Curtin's just that little bit ahead, and he seems to be increasing every single turn, whereas we're not quite as much.
Economy, I suddenly understood much better what I liked about a market economy.
Okay, mercantilism is useful, so camp improvements receive additional production of food. Mills can be built in rainforests, not that we have many of those. And we can also get privateer, but we're not really going for boats at the moment. Aesthetics we'll probably need to go for in due time, in due course. For the moment, though, I don't see anything particularly that we need to change, so that's fine. But now that we've done mercantilism, we could go for civil engineering, go for skyscrapers. I mean, we're going for a lot of great engineers. So that's going to be useful. And we would even be the first people into the next age, which would be quite useful as well. Raj might be pretty useful as well. Opera and ballet, of course, give something like the Bolshoi. Extra culture from buildings and theatre squares. Let's go for the Enlightenment, so we can go for something like opera and ballet, as we are going for culture. And you can come over here and build me a farm, and that should make this farm triangle even better. Excellent. This builder here can build me a mine at Ratumakos. We seem to be losing some of our culture because some of our citizens seem to be working on the wrong tiles, which I understand to some extent. We do need that extra culture. And friendship with Indonesia has run out, so let's renew that. Keeping friendship with these two friendly cities would be useful. We could get the Taj Mahal, but it's not really one that I think we need to go for. How's the appeal in this part of the world? Dreadful. Because I was thinking we could go for another preserve in this area. But if the appeal is terrible, that's not ideal. There's some okay appeal here, but they've all got improvements on them. I was trying to think about something like the preserves. Okay, I'm not sure we need that in Novia Dunham. Preserve, aqueduct. We could instead go for something like a harbour. Commercial district, theatre square. 7 turns for theatre square. Let's get that down. Plus 2 culture here, especially as it's next to a wonder. It's not a bad idea. That's a bit of accidental 4th autumn planning. And we'll get some additional food down here with the 3 farms in a row. Our science is starting to catch up now, but our culture is starting to fall behind as we bounce between different things. Let's just double check the envoys, how we're doing there. Still haven't got Mogadishu back yet. Recruited Great General's not going to happen. But I wouldn't mind ensuring that we keep Namodao and Auckland on side for sure. One more turn and we get Mimar Sinan, which is okay. He's not really what I would choose, but we'll take him nonetheless. And we're going to save all our faith for rock bands. Okay, let's end the turn. There's a lot of mines down there for Greece. Goodness me, on those hills. I suppose because they've spawned near us and we spawn near very hilly areas, that works in their favour. So let's claim Mimar Sinan because that is useful. It also gives us some additional points, which is very useful indeed, and also helps us towards the Enlightenment. Who's the next great engineer? Filippo Blunes. Oh goodness me, Filippo Brunelleschi. Let's say that. Only 12 turns away. This is the one good benefit, is that we can just keep on pumping out these great engineers, and that will help with our wonders, which will be very useful indeed. And actually, we're starting to push up the leaderboards for great musicians as well, which is wonderful. We can probably use you to work on getting something like the Bolshoi Theatre down. And we're not too far behind on great artists either. Going to take a little while for us to catch up on great writers, given that someone there has 12.6 great writer points per turn, which is not great. But even science we're starting to catch up on now, so we're starting to get somewhere. At least in certain aspects, for sure. Right, this builder here can come down to this quarry, or we could... is that on a hill? No, that's grassland, so we can build another farm there to keep on getting these farms even higher in terms of their food production. We'll go out to these fishing boats. You can come over here and build on this wood, or this woodland, I should say. You are just going to culture bomb, or we're just going to activate you just to get that sorted. Again, he's not really one that I wanted, but better than nothing. Romans built a bank in Antium, so they're going for kind of money-related things. Novidian looks very bare with all this bare land. We're going to have to do something with all these plains. We can turn it into farmland, but it's not going to be particularly good farmland, that's the only problem. Let's get that farmland done. You guys can build me this lumber mill. And, 2 food and 4 production is not bad in the slightest, for sure. How many more John Curtin is annoyed because I'm not using, not building ships. Well, I don't particularly care. Although John Curtin has a lot of military strength. Holy mother of God. Right, World Congress. We'll go for... We'll try boost melee promotions. I don't particularly care about religion, but I'm going to just try and target Eastern Orthodoxy, because I think that's the one that we are dealing with at the moment. And were we successful? Yes, we get at least 1 point via the military advisory resolution, so that's not bad. You can build me a farm and a fishing boat out here. You guys can come build a quarry here. There's not much else you can do. It's not perfect, but with the gunpowder about to be unlocked, that will push you forward. And you're going to now go for a... Could go for a workshop, but I'd actually prefer to work on amphitheatres at the moment because John Curtin is scaring me in every single aspect. He's got a lot of science, a lot of culture, a lot of money, and a very large amount of military strength. If we ever go to war with him, that's going to prove problematic for sure. I definitely don't want that to happen. I'm guessing he's leading, or at least doing very well in terms of science and culture. He is. We have now started to push up the culture leaderboards, which is good. Would you believe Australia is winning in terms of domination? Goodness me. He's like the US of this. He's like the US of this civilization game. So we're not doing too badly in terms of diplomatic and culture. Obviously science, we are in a pretty terrible position. That's okay. We were never going to be a big science production city anyway. I'm pleased that you're ready to accept me as the supreme leader of this planet. Others are already whispering that my time's at hand. You're seeming a bit dictatory, honestly, if I must be honest. Here, Australia. Oh, you've got a bunch more great works. I'd love to take all of those off your hands. But I don't want to give you this one. I also don't want to give you that much gold, to be perfectly honest with you. I would love Romeo and Juliet off you if I can grab it. I will give you some one-off gold. Or I can give you open borders, that might work better. Still 12 gold. No, sorry. Not happening. Someone's built the Palata Palace. Okay.
Man is a military animal. Glories in gunpowder.
Wonderful. Gunpowder is done. That's going to help our quarries be that little bit better. That's going to help our production across the Empire, which is really useful. Now, how's our science doing? Are we still kind of terrible in terms of cartography? We are. That's going to be like 50 turns, not 50 turns, but like 35 turns to get that sorted. Ugh. But I feel like we have to push towards industrialization. Maybe economics eventually. Economics would also be nice, but again, not doing all too hot on that. Let's push towards industrialization. Well, that is going to take us a rather long amount of time to do. But I feel like we've got to try, so we'll give it a go. Over here in Summer Breather, we're going to go for... We've got plenty of space in terms of growth. We could go for Taj Mahal, go for Petra, but we've only got one desert tile, so it's almost certainly not worth it. Go for the Art Museum in 12 turns. You can go build something somewhere. You can go over here and build some, or build a quarry down there. And the diplomatic service will unlock next turn, which would be wonderful. And will allow us to start building spies. Not that we're really going to be doing much of that, I don't think. But still. John Curtin wants to buy my great works. I'm happy to give you my diplomatic favour, but I want your great work. What about that? Does that work for you? I'll give you some iron as well. As much iron as you're willing to take off me. I've got up to 50 you can have. And 7 gold per turn. Sure. I just want more great works. I want to take them off Curtin, so his culture and tourism goes down. I'm willing to buy them off him.
A diplomat is a
purely just to ensure that we keep on pushing forward with our culture and tourism. And I think that is important. Nothing I think we need to change at the moment. Invention is going to be very useful for us. Once we've done the Enlightenment, we will push towards opera and ballet to get the Bolshoi down. Because that gives us 2 randomly chosen free civics. Goodness me, John Curtin, look at you. Already in the industrial era. We're going to have to watch out for you. But with our great engineers coming quickly, we might be able to push the Bolshoi before he gets to it. It's not, the Bolshoi is not a perfect wonder to go for, but I think it's probably the best we can do at the moment. And then we might work towards something like urbanisation, public transport, because that'd be useful, maybe even civil engineering. But opera and ballet would also give us 2 additional envoys, so that's pretty useful as well. Now, production in Tirvana. Get a theatre square, harbour, commercial. The opera is done. University we're kind of leaving off anyway. Get a preserve down. How's the appeal doing this part of the world? Is it worth building one here? Not really. Actually, is it? If we built one here, this preserve here, that would boost this spot because it's right next to the Pantanal. It would boost this spot as well. Yeah, we can make this work actually. It would boost 3 more spots. So I want you to build a preserve there. It would also give us additional housing. And then once you build the preserve, you can go into a grove. So we're really going for the preserves a lot this game, but I do think they're actually going to work pretty well in our favour. Although that being said, we're not playing as Teddy Roosevelt, or Cleopatra, or any of the really good preserve players, so to speak. But I think we're doing okay. Great people, 8 turns for Filippo. And Australia's doing well. Australia's doing very well in certain aspects, but we could definitely do with a few more great artist points for sure. At the moment, Australia is my main competitor. In terms of culture, I'm just curious how things are going. Someone's starting to get someone's already started to get some tourists down, which is problematic. I've never won a culture victory before. Certainly not at this high level, because cultural victories are hard, to get done. Whereas at least science has very clear objectives. You just have to launch a satellite, launch a human on the moon, establish a Mars colony, and then do that last exoplanet expedition. But with the cultural one, it's a lot harder to get any defined goals, and I find it troublesome. But that's why it's fun to try go for one. But this is why it's good to get some more preserves down, because we will actually need the faith for rock bands when the time comes. Okay. Opera and ballet has increased. Excellent. That's going to mean that we can get to the Bolshoi that little bit quicker. Also, again, Grand Opera and Symphonies down will be excellent. For sure. Production in Adotuka. What can we do here that's actually useful? We get the Taj Mahal down in 21 turns. It's hardly ideal. We could just keep going. We could go for a skirmisher, because that will give us some more culture, and it would also give us a bonus envoy with Auckland, which would be no bad thing, because that's going to give us some more production. So yeah, that works. That's fine. And we'd also get some additional benefits as well. Only 4 turns for an amphitheatre in Noviodunum. Get that down. We're really going for culture in this one. 16 to 36 turns. We should at least avoid a Dark Age, but it would be wonderful to get to a Golden Age if entirely possible. Obviously we can't do a Heroic Age because we haven't come from a Dark Age, but a Golden Age would still be useful for sure. 701 gold. We should be doing something with that money. Here, have a monument. Get some more culture down. We're now starting to pull away from John Curtin, which is excellent. So we're just going to get monuments down everywhere that we can afford them, really. We could definitely do with some more trade routes, but we can't really afford that for the time being. But I'm just happy to get more and more culture down, but that's also going to help with our... Indonesia's settled another city, goodness me. Greece and Indonesia are going to have a big old war. I'm happy to stay out of it, given I've only got Aduatuca over here, which is very isolated from the rest of the civilization. Any more gold we'll get, we're going to save for this new city here, so I can get it up and running a little bit quicker, because it's going to take a little while for any of the preserve down here where I want it to go to actually get sorted.
New opinions are always
I do like the preserves.
And usually opposed.
We've got the Enlightenment down, which is good. I don't think there's anything we need to change in terms of this. Aesthetics would only give us another 4 culture. It's not perfect. We could switch our natural philosophy, given we're so far behind in science anyway. But we could really do with keeping that science, otherwise we're going to really struggle. I'm tempted, but I feel like 4 culture is not really worth quite enough just yet to consider it. I didn't do any aid requests. That was silly of me. But with 400 gold there, I'm not sure we'd have managed. But that's 2 victory points for John Curtin, which probably puts him into not first place, but second place. Okay. It's not great. Let's build this quarry here. Adotuka, we should have got an envoy for Auckland. Yes, we did. And I think that also boosts our culture, or not our culture, but our civic tree progress as well. You're going to go on automatic exploration, because there's not much I can do with you at the moment. Still go for the Taj Mahal, but it's not really worth it. Wouldn't be the worst thing to try and build up a little bit of an army over here, just in case we have some issues. And it would still keep on working in terms of getting us progress on our civics tree. I'm very concerned about John Curtin, but I presume we don't know which one he's gone for just yet. But still, that's of concern for sure. Let's establish an embassy here in Rome just to make sure he likes us a bit more. Same with Indonesia. I don't really care about the other two as much. As long as those two guys are friendly with us, that's all that really matters. Let's get you on board. Oh, look at this. Look at his culture pattern. He just catches up so quickly. But I'm determined to keep on pushing. We're up to 135 now. We will stay ahead of John Curtin if it kills me, which it probably will. Right, you go over here, build a mine. Over in Noviodunum, build me an art museum. And over in Makos, build me... Ooh, do we want to get you an oppidum down quickly? Or a workshop for your oppidum? Would help with your production. No, let's keep going for the art museum, that's important. And we will settle... Bibrax, interesting. It's going to have some absolutely garbage production and growth. That should help it catch up a little bit more. And you're going to, as soon as you can, work on getting a preserve down, but we need to switch over this tile. If I can remember how to do it. Not purchase tile. It might be under city details. I know there is a way to switch tiles over. Can I remember how to do this? You would think it'd be under purchase tile, wouldn't you? There must be a way to do so. But for now, though, go for something like a monument so we get a build down. Your production's going to be way too slow for the time being to do anything to do with the preserve. But in time, we can probably get you sorted. For now, I'm guessing you're on there. You are. Okay, that's not terrible. Send the turn. I'm not convinced, Rome, that I'm settling too close to you, although I will look elsewhere in future. But may I point you out to Arretium, to Arpinum, to Aquileia, all three of which are very aggressive settles on your behalf. I'm not sure you can really say that I'm settling too close to you. J.R. Tolkien, one of my favourite authors. Okay, wonderful. We also get a little bit of extra gold up there in Adawatuka, which is wonderful. And we can keep pushing with our culture. We're still ahead of John Curtin for now, but we're going to keep trying to buy things off him, even if it does give him a lot of money, and he's very scary at the moment. We need to ensure that we stay ahead of him one way or another, because we need to start thinking about this potential culture victory, especially as this person's starting to get some tourism down, which is concerning. We can claim another great person. We can claim Filippo. Wonderful. And here we can build Casa de that's hard to say. Casa de Contratación. I apologise. Now, is that useful? 3 governor promotions. All your cities not on the original. Right, let's have a look at our continents. Because all our other cities here are actually not on other continents. That could be pretty useful. But it's got to be people with a governor. 15% production, 50% faith, and 15% gold. That's nice. We will try build Casa here. But we're not going to use Filippo. I want to use Filippo on the Bolshoi. And where is the Bolshoi going to be built? The Bolshoi is arguably probably going to be built somewhere in Samarabriva, so let's send him over there just in case. The next great person that we can get is Leonardo da Vinci. Actually, that's a really important one for us to get, because it triggers the Eureka moment for one random technology from the modern era. That's fine. But workshops provide 3+ culture. Now, we have a lot of workshops down because of our oppidums. Leonardo da Vinci is one we definitely want to try grab. But I'll tell you what, we'll leave things there for now. We're doing well in terms of culture. We're really pushing ahead of people like Indonesia, even Caesar, and to some extent Pericles, but John Curtin I'm concerned about, especially as the other person. There's also another person who's starting to... there's someone who's starting to get some tourists from somewhere. And that's concerning. How much diplomatic favour do you want for this great work? Would you take 40? And 3 gold? Sure. It's less culture for him and more culture for me. And also more tourism. We could also, of course, theme stuff, but we don't have much artwork yet. It's only a little bit of culture, a little bit of tourism, but as time goes on, and we get a few more world wonders, that should help with our tourism as well. Now, Tavanna, that's helped this place grow. It's got some now additional culture, faith, growth there. And what we're going to do now is put a grove down there. And that will help that grow as well. Excellent. You're just going to stay on alert. And we're going to stop things there for today. Thank you so much for watching. More to come soon indeed. For now, take care. Bye-bye.